A very good evening to you and welcome to NTA News Top Table. You're just in time for an hour and a half of news and reviews from all corners of the nation and beyond, treated with the extra touch. We begin on a cheering note as the last set of kidnapped victims of the Igwebin train station breathes the air of freedom. The Federal Executive Council sat for the very first time in the new year, and the nation's highest level meeting presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo approved the draft bill for an act to establishing the Nigerian police force training schools and institutions. That's not all, as roads infrastructure also received attention as 1.9 trillion naira was approved for the reconstruction of 44 federal roads across the country. From the red and green chambers, Senate moves for stringent regulation of chemicals, just as House makes a strong submission on the need to beef up security in Edo State, aftermath of the train station kidnap. In politics, parties intensify campaigns as the clock ticks. If you're one of those bitten by the bug of shortcut syndrome, especially where crossing the highway on foot is concerned, we have what likens to the saying that to be forewarned is to be forearmed, so don't miss it. The new Naira notes have some interesting happenings around them. We are keeping track and would share some of that with you. Talking about the Naira, how are you coping with the month of January? Join us as we shine the spotlight on the myth around the month and people's pockets. There is, and I tell you, we have a whole lot and quite a bit on health, sectorial budget breakdowns, business, and of course, sports. That's just a sneak preview of what is coming your way. If you stay tuned, you would get the full package and won't have to be told. After all, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I am Fatima Umar Buba, and this is News Extra. On the day I added a year to my age, your well wishes can come in later. But for now, let's get down to business, because your Wednesday night just got better. You can follow this news live on our website, nta.ng/live, NTA News Now, and other social media platforms displayed on your screens for updates. The Federal Executive Council has approved the draft bill for an act to establish Nigerian police force training schools and institutions to serve as centers for professional training of officers of the Nigerian police. Equally, FEC also approved proposals by the Ministry of Works and Housing for the reconstruction of 44 federal roads in the total length of 5,554 kilometers in the total sum of 1.9 trillion naira. State House correspondent Ali Kabi reports on this and other resolutions of the Federal Executive Council meeting.
In the quest to addressing gaps in the training of police officers across the country, the Minister of Police Affairs, Nigerian, has presented a memo to the Federal Executive Council for the approval of the draft bill for an act to establish the Nigerian police training schools and institutions, which the Minister said will go a long way towards enhancing capacity for effective service delivery. The Federal Executive Council also intervened in the overhauling of the 9 road corridors, in addition to the construction of 44 federal roads across the country, expected to consume about 1.9 trillion naira, as addressed by the Senior Special Assistant to the Vice President on Media and Publicity, Laulu Akonde, on behalf of the Works and Housing Minister.
It is worth it to note that as part of Mr. President's reform of Nigerian police ecosystem, the ministry is championing police reforms with the strong backing of the presidency and stakeholders to address observed gaps in the training and retraining of police officers, rehabilitation and upgrade of available police training institutions and facilities nationwide.
The roads that will be under this first phase are the Bini Asaba corridor, Abuja, Lokoja, Onitsha, Owerri, Aba, Shagamu to Benin, Abuja, Kefi, Akwanga, Lafia to Makurdi, Kano, Maiduguri, as the Kano Shauri, Enugu to Port Harcourt, Lagos, Ota, Abeokuta, and Lagos, Badagry, Seme.
I presented a memo to the Federal Executive Council requesting for approval to procure some project vehicles for the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project. FEC today approved the sum of 1,354,016,250 naira only to provide 31 number of vehicles for the project.
The Minister of Aviation, Hadis Reka, has presented 2 memos, all towards enhancing safety.
The first one is the procurement and assemblage of Magnus Sentinel aircraft and simulator in Zaria. And not too distant future, by God's grace, the industry of civil aviation will begin to manufacture right here in country aircraft. But we're beginning by assembling these training aircraft.
The Minister of Aviation, Hadis Reka, added that FEC has also revised and estimated total cost of contract for the procurement of instrument landing system in Port Harcourt, Katsina, and Kano international airports. The meeting was presided over by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshimbajo. From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
A story coming from the Senate indicates that the era of indiscriminate importation and use of chemicals in Nigeria will soon be over. The legislators have passed for second reading the bill that seeks to establish the National Research Institute for Chemical Technology. National Assembly correspondent Ignitia Sunkwo reports.
Poor or lack of conversion of agricultural minerals and other raw materials into commercially useful substance has been a challenge to Nigeria's chemical industry. Consequently, Nigeria relies heavily on imported chemicals and its derivatives. This has given rise to poor monitoring and control of chemical elements, especially those used for the production of improvised explosive devices. The Senate is saying this cannot continue unabated. A bill sponsored by Senator Sadiq Umar seeks to improve research and development in the industry and provide stringent monitoring.
The institute shall be a renowned center of international excellence in fields of effluent monitoring and control, both chemical, biological, man-made fiber technologies.
If we look at our earnings, even some of the raw materials which we have them here, which we can research on them and make them processed here, have been imported.
Our Research Institute for Chemical Technology exists in Zaria. My thought, what could be done is to amend the act of that institute to accommodate whatever is not done there.
The institute, when established, is also expected to establish a national laboratory for the prevention and detection of chemical weapons. But Senator Istifanus Gyang made an observation on this clause.
This component of the bill are functions that are already being handled by other established bodies. And I don't think there will be need to review the mandate of the institute.
So what the committee will do is now look at the mandate of the NARIC in Zaria and look at the intendment of this bill and then match them together and then come out with a legal framework that will give the NARIC in Zaria or whatever name is going to come out with to continue in this research. But I also agree that there is need to look what the mandate of the existing institution in Zaria is.
The institute, when established, is expected to receive 1.1 billion naira allocation in the first 12 months. Senate has constituted 2 conference committees. One is the conference committee that will harmonize the reports on the Nigerian Peace Corps and the proliferation of small arms and light weapons prohibition bill. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
In the meantime, the House of Representatives says deployment of additional security personnel to parts of Edo State could ward off perpetrators of crime in affected areas. During plenary Wednesday, House members supported the establishment of a police mobile force base and Nigerian Army barracks forward operating base in Edo Central to tackle kidnappers. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali has that.
The request is sequel to a motion from Representative Sergio Sogun, who made reference to the recent kidnap of train passengers and 2 other incidents.
On Monday 9 January 2023, Mrs. Precious Iponok, the president of Customary Court, was kidnapped on her way to court around Ugoneki. Former member of the Edo State House of Assembly, Mr. Festus Edubele, was also kidnapped on January 9, 2023 at Ugoneki, same Ugoneki town.
The lawmakers observed with sadness the death of DSP Michael Adams, who lost his life during a rescue operation following a gun duel with the kidnappers, and commended the security personnel for their bravery and sacrifice. The motion from Dennis Idahosa asking the Ministry of Works to construct a pedestrian bridge at Okada Junction on Benin-Ore Lagos Highway was adopted. Plenary featured the second reading of the bill to establish Nigerian maritime zones forwarded from the Senate for concurrence, and the bill to amend National Directorate of Employment Act.
Empowered the Directorate to ensure strict compliance with the provisions and principles of federal character in employment and vacancies in the country.
4 bills, among them bill to domesticate African Union Convention for the Protection of Internally Displaced Persons, passed first reading. The bill seeking legal backing to Project Development Agency PRODA Enugu to conduct scientific, engineering and technological research was considered and approved. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
In another story, Edo State government has announced the rescue of the 2 remaining victims of the Weben train station attack. Commissioner for Communication and Orientation, Chris Nakikari, briefed newsmen in Benin this evening. Elizabeth Omoko reports.
On the 7th of this month, the Igwebe train station was attacked, with almost 30 persons kidnapped by armed bandits. The security operatives swung into action, and 22 victims held hostage were rescued alive within 1 week of abduction, leaving 2 left in the kidnappers' den.
We are pleased to announce that the last 2 victims have been rescued, and several suspects in custody, including 2 village chiefs.
The state government appreciates all, especially the media, for the support in managing the information. In Benin, Elizabeth Omoko, NTA News.
Sharing one there. In line with global military standards, the Nigerian Army is improving facilities at its Land Forces Simulation Center with the acquisition of state-of-the-art hard and softwares. The latest is the acquisition and installation of Masa's Sword, an advanced wargaming military software. The first correspondent, Ismail Musa, was at the center in Giri, Abuja, and now reports.
With this brief symbolic ceremony, the Nigerian Army can now boast of a state-of-the-art simulation center to further enhance operational efficiency in the ongoing drive to stem security threats. Though the center was established in 2019, the recent acquisition of the Master Sword software and other critical equipment fully operationalized the center for combat and support services.
The Nigerian Army that is combat ready can only be built through effective training on simulation technologies such as artificial intelligence and other software applications installed in this center
will provide this opportunity. The installation of NASA's world simulation software will mark a turning point in the novel history of the center.
The center is focusing on using simulation technology to facilitate the Nigerian Army's operational readiness doctrine in peace and war times.
It is gratifying to note that the Chief of Army Staff, in his quest to make the center one of the best simulation training centers sub-Saharan Africa, recently approved procurement and installation of the VBS4 software. This will complement the Master Sword battle decision-making software and enable the center exercise individual entities, which will include Nigerian Army personnel at section and platoon levels.
The event also marks the commencement of the first quarter 2022 simulation exercise for the Army. From the Nigerian Army Simulation Center in Giri, Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And in furtherance to the nation's solution to the emerging security challenges and the capacity of the armed forces to address them, the Nigerian Air Force War College, Makudi, has inaugurated 17 military officers for the course in 2023. Blessing Omeche Ebute reports that the officers were drawn from the Nigerian Air Force, the Army, and the Navy.
Air Force War College is the highest professional military institution in the Nigerian Air Force, established to build the capacity of middle cadre officers in operational planning and management with a view to employing air power effectively. Air Officer Commanding Tactical Air Command, Air Vice Marshal Precious Amadi says the Nigerian Air Force is grappling with security challenges, and in addressing these challenges will require creativity, innovation, and visionary operational leadership.
As operational commanders and staff officers you are set to become at the conclusion of this course, they are expected to deliver the skills for critical thinking and analytical writing ability. You must also be able to communicate clearly and effectively with your superior, contemporaries, and subordinates. Your knowledge of air power operations and campaign planning must above all be top-notch.
Course will sharpen your understanding of air power and its employment in independent, joint, and combined operations, emphasizing its utility in addressing these complex problems.
He therefore urged the participants to be dedicated, resourceful, and consistently committed to their goals. In Makudi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
In the meantime, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has been sleuthing, and many in the nefarious business of drug trafficking and related offences are catching cold. 34 drug barons are currently in its net, with their fate to be decided in coming weeks. Correspondent Abdul Malik Hassan reports that this was disclosed at the agency's media briefing in Abuja.
The fight against illicit drugs and trafficking has been on for quite some time, and for 2 years now, the results in curbing the organized crime is seen as remarkable. Though tough and a challenging one to tackle, the methods deployed by the Marwa-led leadership is making impact.
We shall maintain best practices, intensify training, and add more teeth to our operations in terms of arms, mobility, and will be more intelligence-led.
Here, meeting with journalists for the first time this year after an exhaustive 2022, apparently with key prospects.
Drug cartels and barons. Last year, I issued a New Year appeal to them, and also warned that those who refuse to heed the warning will find themselves in a difficult situation. We have 34 barons in our nets, and they are facing the music in court. We have secured orders for the temporary forfeiture of their assets. With our prosecution being top-notch, they can look forward to a long time in prison and final forfeiture of their wealth and assets.
Now more than 500 billion naira worth of psychoactive substances and assets were seized in the past 2 years.
And I would like to remind
this day, NDLEA boss issued a stern warning to illegal drug traders with practice to become fiercer. Abdul Malik Hassan, NTA News.
Nigerians are becoming more aware of their rights as enshrined in the Constitution, a heartwarming development largely attributed to the level of sensitization. The Nigeria Police Trust Fund, set up by the Buhari administration, is partly at the center of this wind of change. This is through various human angle projects executed by the fund, among which is the Force Radio. Francis Fong takes a look at some of these projects.
It is an intervention agency established by the federal government to bridge the funding gap in the force. Based on this assessment of the force, the Trust Fund embarked on the construction of the newly established NPF Cybercrime and Control Office Complex, IGP Resource and Conference Center, a renovation of NPF Barracks and warehouse, amongst others. A visit to some of the project sites within the FCT indicates that some of the projects are at various stages of completion, while some have been completed.
The cybercrime center is about 870 million, and that of police quarters is about 470 million. The contractor has gone in accordance with the specifications, and he has also promised to deliver by end of February.
Other projects that are dear to the force are the upgrade of Police Force radio transmitter to 30 kilowatts, construction of the permanent side of the Institute of Police Studies, WAU, and the fencing of Police Children's School, Day.
The police secondary school is here, and the police children's school to also resident here. So with this project, that is very, very important. At least our children will be secured and there will be more security to the children.
Most of the projects that were provided for Nigerian police will have added large value to their constitutional responsibilities.
Executive Secretary of the Trust Fund says the project is expected to enhance the productivity of officers and men in ridding the nation of all forms of crime and criminality through intelligence gathering. Francis from NTA News.
The Secretary General of the United Nations World Tourism Organization has assured Nigeria that the global body will remain consistent with the country on tourism development. He stated this when he received an audience Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed at the organization's headquarters in Madrid, Spain. Anthony Forson reports.
The minister, who has come calling, described his visit as his last official visit to the world body's headquarters, saying from May 29th he will cease to be minister responsible for tourism. He expressed gratitude to the world body for standing by Nigeria in developing tourism since he assumed office.
It is therefore pertinent for me to use the opportunity to express my gratitude to the Secretary General and your entire staff for the support given to me throughout my tenure as the minister in charge of tourism. I also want to commend your commitment to the growth of the tourism sector in Nigeria.
He recalled that the organization has worked tirelessly to readmit some affiliate members from Nigeria back to the fold, and to Zurapolo Likashvili, Lai Mohammed had these words for him.
The Secretary General, you have brought a lot of innovations to the organization. You have succeeded in carving a niche for yourself. The marks that you have made on the sands of time within and outside the UNDP will speak for you in the years to come. I know that long after I would have served out my tenure in May this year, the personal and professional bonds that were already established will be sustained. It is my sincere desire that our paths will cross again in Nigeria, Madrid, and other parts of the world.
In quick response, the Secretary General promised to carry out legacy projects in Nigeria in honor of Lai Mohammed. The projects, he said, will include a training academy, more hosting rights for Nigeria, among others. Lai Mohammed was accompanied on the trip by the Director General of NAHOTO and his NTDC counterpart. In Madrid, Spain, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Well, thank you, Anthony. Let's take our first break. When we return, PVC collection and the deluge of inquiries from voters in Lagos, plus countdown to election day and the thermometer of expectation among the people.
Nigeria is at the crossroads. Nigerians yearn for a rescuer, and the time to choose wisely is now. Who will save our fatherland? Who will rescue Nigeria? Only one man. He is battle ready, tested and trusted, capable and dependable. He is Atiku Abubakar. We call him the unifier on a rescue mission. He's detribalized, uncompromised, and ready to make Nigeria great again. Atiku is coming together with Ifeanyi Okowa. His team is unbeatable. This is no time for sentiment. It's time for competence. Atiku is the best option for a brighter tomorrow. Let's vote Atiku for president come 2023. Vote PDP. Power to the people. This message is powered by Senator Ehige Uzame.
Concerned and worried by the persistent conflicts and violent clashes between herders and farmers, which most of the times lead to loss of properties and lives across the country, the Kano State Governor, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, OFR, has constituted a 24-member high-powered committee of experts, representatives of key government agencies and relevant stakeholders to organize a national conference on livestock reforms and mitigation of associated conflicts. The conference will serve as a platform for dialogue and exchange of ideas, as well as proffer workable solutions for better understanding, tolerance, and peaceful coexistence between farmers and herders in Nigeria for sustainable national development. The committee, under the chairmanship of Professor Attahiru Jega, will be inaugurated by His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. Date, Thursday, 19th January 2023. Venue, Mala Aminu Kanu House, Asokoro, Abuja. Time, 2 p.m. prompt. Announcer, Mala Muhammad Garba, Commissioner of Information, Kano State.
Our country one better. Our country one better. Go do one for us. Papa Kambo, Mama Kambo, for a better Nigeria. Good life, now you want to. Now you will need oh.
Yes, so people of Nigeria, they jolly for the better than one shell for the country. So they ready to put Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, the next president of Nigeria. Our people don't look the matter well said. Only Bola Tinubu don't do what it everybody fit see. Now you get the experience where you go fit to use take make our country better, make life sweet for we and our picking them. Bola Tinubu don't get a better plan to chase down war for we youth, better school, the security of lives and property, unity and peace for all the country people of Nigeria. But these and many other better things where in don't vocalize. It could make we all vote Asiwaju Bola Tinubu for president of Nigeria. Vote Fatima as vice president. Vote APC, the party where show broom. Now you
every day, life presents hopes, dreams, and challenges. Challenges that can become successes with a little help. Because a little help can empower you to go from despair to celebration. A little help can keep you going until the race is won. A little help can turn bundles of anxiety into a bundle of joy. And with Glow Data, you get much more than just a little help. You get the biggest data deals in town to make every day glow with small wins and big wins. Dial *777# to select your Glow Data plan.
Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, in conjunction with the Federal Government Staff Housing Loans Board, invite all Nigerians to the groundbreaking ceremony of an estate of the Federal Integrated Staff Housing Program, FISH, for federal civil servants in Dukma Road, after Immigration Office, Gwagwalada, Abuja.
Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN-CON, Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, will perform the groundbreaking. Host Dr. Folashade Yemi Esson, Head of the Civil Service of the Federation. Chief Host Malam Mohammed Musa Bello, Honorable Minister of Federal Capital Territory. Date Thursday 19 January 2023. Time 11 a.m. prompt. Ibrahim Meriga, Executive Secretary, Federal Government Staff Housing Loans Board, Announcer.
Welcome to the Airtel side of life, where you're covered in a variety of reliable ways. Get a router for just 10,000 Naira with up to 240GB, or this MiFi for 7,500 Naira with up to 150GB, or this for 5,000 Naira with up to 125GB bonus data. More data, more you. Reliable home broadband by Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back to News Extra. More eligible Nigerians can now get their permanent voter cards to guarantee their franchise in the forthcoming election with the extension of PVC collection period by INEC. Correspondent Joel Buba reports that the extension has not reduced the anxiety as Lagosians continue to throng various wards across the state in their quest to get their cards.
Since the collection of permanent voter cards commenced at the registration areas, the apprehension of Lagosians has been visible as they jostle day in, day out to collect their PVC. Scenes like this at Ajumoni Secondary School, Okota Ward 9, made INEC to extend the exercise by 1 week to give more Nigerians the opportunity to take part in the exercise.
Those who may not have time to collect it, it's an opportunity for them.
That means it have given me another room to go and make sure that I got my PVC.
From the island to the mainland, Nigerians are willing to defy the odds to get their cards.
It feels as a sense of achievement because I know what I went through to get this.
This is my first PVC, and this is the first time I'm going to have the privilege to vote.
Despite the extension, the crowd at registration areas in Lagos has not reduced, with many still unable to get their cards after several attempts.
They can see the way they can handle it better for us that's going to be a stress here.
I think they need more hand, but this is not organized. If they organize it very well, it will be good.
INEC Administrative Secretary in Lagos, Adebisi Ajayi, says the electoral umpire will deploy more personnel to fast-track the exercise.
Every day, we ensure that where we have crowd, we increase the number of collection centers. And we know this through the monitoring mechanisms we have put in place.
Overall total PVCs collected as of January 15, 2023 in Lagos State is 6,299,036, while uncollected PVCs is 1,211,455. Collection of PVC will now end at the wards on January 22, 2023 and continue thereafter at INEC office in local government areas till January 29, 2023. In Lagos, Joel Buba, NTA News.
And the countdown to the 2023 general elections is on, and as the date draws nearer, there are indications that Nigerians are looking forward to it with great expectation. Diana Kume Ulolo in this report takes a look at how residents of Rivers State are gearing up for this exercise, which remains the only constitutionally recognized means of choosing leaders.
In less than a month and 1 week, Africa's most populous country will be choosing a new set of leaders. Preparations are no doubt in top gear as the new Electoral Act of 2022 has set the stage that will make way for free, fair and credible elections. With that in place, it now becomes pertinent to feel the pulse of the voting public to know how they are gearing up for the general elections.
Given the introduction of what INEC, what they said they want to do now, we are very expectant that the election is going to be credible, free and fair to the extent that it will be acceptable to the generality of the people.
Nigerians are very prepared for this election more than ever. We know that there is a deciding factor here. No need to tell anybody of what Nigerians are feeling. So it's an election that's going to decide our future.
We believe that election this year will count. Now the reason why it will count is because the pivot is a machine that will show the credibility of INEC, and because it has been tested in Osun State, we believe that the vote of individual in this election will count.
My prayer is that the electorates that have been well informed are already conducting themselves in the manner that we are foreseeing peace and credible election.
INEC is the central point for the conduct of general elections. Right now, prospective voters are still coming in to collect their PVCs, and all appears to be that the environment is calm. We are here to find out the level of preparations of the elections from the INEC official.
We are almost ready for elections. We started receiving materials from Abuja, non-sensitive materials. We received the beavers, and as well, we are now receiving the permanent voters card, of which we are now issuing to prospective voters.
It is the expectation of Nigerians that commitment will be made towards effective implementation of the new electoral law in the 2023 general elections, so as to achieve free, fair, and credible elections. In Port Harcourt, Yanukume Ulolu, NTA News.
Now, Justice Ahmed Ramat Mohammed of the Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed a suit seeking disqualification of the All Progressives Congress candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu over the nomination of Muslim candidacy for the 2023 presidential election. The suit, instituted by an Abuja-based legal practitioner, Mr. Osigwe Ahmed Momo, was thrown out by the judge on ground of lack of local standing by the plaintiff. Justice Mohammed held that the lawyer, having not been a member of APC and having not participated in the process that produced Tinubu and his running mate Kashim Shettima, cannot query them on the nominations. The legal practitioner had in the suit prayed the court for an order nullifying the presidential candidate of the APC on the ground that the nomination of the Muslim candidacy is unconstitutional and against the spirit and letters of sections 14, 15 and 224 of the 1999 Constitution. The All Progressives Congress APC has opened a platform for Nigerians to interrogate the 2023 Tinubu Shettima Presidential Campaign Manifesto at a symposium in Abuja by the APC Professionals Forum. Experts dissect the APC presidential candidate's blueprint for national prosperity. Salihu Gwanara reports.
Political empowerment.
The interactive forum brought together experts and party members who focused attention on highlights of the Tinubu Shettima Campaign Manifesto, including its plan for the economy, infrastructure, security, and judicial reform.
Today, not a few people, indeed many people will say, oh, you promise economy, you promise corruption, you promise security. People will remember what we committed to.
In 20 years' time, we shall be the third most populated country in the world. The big question is, where is the food? Where are the houses? Where are the hospitals? Where are the schools? So I like the Ashiwaju agenda on agriculture, especially because it is determined to enhance agricultural productivity.
We will build on the current administration's social intervention programs with greater emphasis on empowering women and youth towards uplifting more families into collecting wealth and prosperity.
So we can see the leadership qualities in him, being able to lead people from all parts of the world.
Ideas generated and shared on the intent and implementation process of the APC manifesto are value addition and campaign tool. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
And in Abeokuta, the People's Democratic Party PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar says his proposed constitutional reforms is born out of the need to strengthen states for social, political and economic advancement. The former vice president gave this explanation while addressing PDP supporters at the Ake Palace, Abeokuta, Ogun State. Onoto Yakubu has that.
With the 2023 presidential election campaign now at its peak, the PDP candidate Atiku Abubakar's campaign train got to Abeokuta, Ogun State to present the blueprint for effective governance under PDP administration at the center.
We have promised to make sure industrialization of Ogun State, because Ogun State is endowed with so many mineral resources, and in order to create jobs and prosperity, the federal government and the PDP government will make sure that the exploitation of those mineral resources and the industrialization of Ogun is made a priority. There will be more powers to the state, there will be more powers to local government, there will be more resources, there will be real devolution of power and devolution of resources for the development of our country. When Atiku Abubakar comes back to power, under the leadership of the PDP, I want to assure you that life will return to the better days that the PDP were able to create.
Thereafter, presented the party's flag to the state's governorship candidate, Fabi Oladimeji, who had earlier led state party leaders to galvanize more support for the party. Other members of the campaign team assured the people that Atiku Abubakar, if elected as president, will create an enabling environment for the establishment of industries to harness and process the nation's endowment for rapid development. From Abeokuta, Ogun State, Onoto Yakubu, NTA News.
In the meantime, presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, promised to secure and unite Nigeria if elected as president of the country in the next month's general election. He stated this while canvassing for vote from his supporters during the party's campaign rally in Ahmadu Bello Stadium, Kaduna. Adamu Sunday reports.
This is what resonated at the campaign rally where leaders and members of Labour Party, popularly known as Obedience, gathered to show their unflinching support for the candidature of Obidati and other contestants under the banner of the party.
We are about to bring back that Nigerian, and everybody was happy to say, I'm a Nigerian.
The presidential candidate says Nigerians will breathe a new air of economic transformation, where the country will change from a consuming to a producing nation.
We will make sure all the first land in the north without this agricultural field. We will create jobs from there. Every state will become again a processing center. Nigerians can no longer be hungry.
In a town hall meeting with members of the academia, the presidential candidate reiterated his administration commitment to end incessant strikes in higher institutions of learning, boost agriculture, and empower youth and women in the country. He appealed to Nigerians to vote the candidates on the basis of competence, integrity, and the character they can trust, which only can be found in the Labour Party. Adamu Sunday, NTA News.
And away from that, exhibitions at the ongoing Technology and Innovation Expo holding in Abuja have further laid bare the ingenuity and capacity inherent in Nigerian researchers and scientists. One of such outstanding research and development findings displayed by the Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute is designed to solve the problem of importation of bitumen for road construction purposes in the country. Justin Bemuni reports.
The primary driving force for most inventions and innovations is the need to solve a problem. Such needs are also required in interventions in the road construction industry. And Nigeria always imports bitumen in road design and construction. An importation of this material in turn has a high cost implication to infrastructural development in the country. Despite having vast deposits of bitumen, reports have that Nigeria spends not less than $13 million importing the material for road constructions. This is a need and problem the Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute, NIBRI, has identified and says it has proffered solution to.
We were able to identify a natural deposit of tar sand. NIBRI went there. They were able to collect some. We carried out some laboratory tests, and the results, we discovered that it was interesting and it's promising. We obtained about 11% percentage of bitumen, and we were able to use this natural tar sand to patch our potholes, to construct virgin roads with it, and the roads have been promising.
Ekiti, Ogun, and Ondo State are locations the NIBRI DG said have huge untapped deposits of the tar sand. The agency did not only bring this innovation to the table at the ongoing Science and Technology Expo, but also others such as neem seed oil and fiber extracting machine.
The other thing we used was the use of neem tree. You know neem. People use neem for curing of malaria, but the seedlings are discarded as waste. We took that seedlings, we were able to grind them, and we got neem oil out of it. And we added this oil to the bitumen like a cutback. It modifies the properties of the bitumen, thereby constructing a road where you are supposed to use just maybe 1 meter. With the addition of this neem, it makes the viscosity of the bitumen to last long.
NIBRI has over the years developed the movable house that comes with compressed bricks amongst other array of innovations, and has called for the commercialization of these research findings by the private investors. Justin Ben-Uni, NTA News.
Interesting. Abuja, the nation's capital, was initially planned to accommodate about 3.5 million people, but current estimates puts its population at above 6 million. Correspondent Mitari Ipeng reports that this growth and the lack of an integrated mass transit system are factors affecting seamless transportation in Nigeria's model city.
A typical scramble for transportation by Abuja residents after the day's toil. Exertion hit on exertion. Boarding a vehicle, especially during rush hours, often requires the fitness and alertness of an Olympics athlete. It gets so bad that commuters don't mind joining any vehicle to get to their destinations. This push and pull equally come with physical toll.
I mean, this is also affecting people's mental health because by this time people are not home yet. Some people get to home by 9, 10, and you are supposed to resume by probably 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. I mean, when do you have time for your family? When do you have time to, be healthy and all that? So this is what workers in Abuja face on a daily basis.
Frustration mounts for commuters, especially when it gets dark with no respite in sight. This was not the vision of the framers of the Abuja Master Plan, which envisaged a mass transit system comprising high-capacity buses and a highly functional light rail service.
El-Rufai attempted the standard BRT, bus rapid transport, but it wasn't standardized and balanced. Well, it is a brilliant idea. It is part of the master plan.
The El-Rufai bus seems secured because people can take it from one destination to the other, and it was easy and a cheaper means of transport for people.
The buses are no longer there, so it's a bit difficult. Government can't bring back those buses. I don't know where they are, but if they can bring back those buses, I think it will help a lot.
The mass transit buses meant to serve the city are here at the Katankwe premises of the Abuja Urban Mass Transit Company, grounded in their hundreds in what looks like the final resting place of a great dream, a valley of metallic dry bones due to lack of maintenance. They may yet rise again. Abdullahi Adamu Candido is the FCT Transport Secretary. He says a public-private partnership is being arranged to reintroduce the high-capacity buses.
We partnered with investors so that they can invest their buses. When the partners are engaged, we discover that new buses, high-capacity buses for that matter, will be in town.
we have not seen anything in this metro rail line. It's not been functioning for a very long time. That would have been an added advantage.
The cobwebs here tell the story of the Abuja Metro station of the light rail, strategically located in the central business district. It held so much promise at inauguration in July 2018 as it was conceived to be a transportation and economic hub for thousands of passengers traversing the nation's capital and its suburbs. Currently, it is a shadow of that promise, looking desolate, but seemingly better appreciated by other mammals. It is right to say the light rail is not on track in more ways than one. The FCT authorities blame its coma on vandalism of the light rail cables fitted to the tracks.
Our rail tracks today have been so vandalized to the extent that we have to go back once again into the trench of trying to fix this critical equipment. In the next 2 months, I believe this track should be put in place.
It's designed in 6 lots. We only have 2 lots for now, and that's not good enough. The 2 lots are elitist. What about the lot that goes to Karu? What about the road that goes to Kuching? What about the lot that particularly goes to Ghana?
For a model city with a master plan and a swelling population, the need for integrated transportation in Abuja is obvious.
The FCT administration no doubt has great plans for integrated transportation in the nation's capital, but the sooner these plans come to fruition, the better for seamless transportation to be enjoyed by residents. Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
You said it all, Mitaire. It is a common occurrence such that even as we talk about it now, someone somewhere is about to do it or has done it at the risk of his or her life. Pedestrian bridges are safety measures on highways to curb road crashes that may occur while people wish to cross busy roads. The non-usage of pedestrian bridges when the need arises has led to avoidable crashes and loss of lives. One of such incidents occurred just last Sunday here in Abuja. Hawagimba went to the spot to find out why people prefer to take the dangerous option to following pedestrian bridges.
In 2 minutes to where people are waiting for vehicles is a pedestrian bridge which was built for the safety of residents who may need to cross the highway due to heavy flow of vehicular traffic. On this sad day, commuters were going about their daily business until a car crashed into 4 other vehicles that were parked at the popular Nikon Junction, Maitama, killing 4 people and leaving many injured. This incident has brought to the fore the incessant killing of commuters who abandon pedestrian bridges while crossing the road.
I advise them not to park on the roadside. We have a bus stop, but they don't usually want to use the bus stop. Likewise with people crossing, particularly this Nikon Junction, a lot of life has been lost.
Abubakar Hassan and 2 other victims are still receiving treatment at the National Hospital. The question now is, whose responsibility is it to checkmate the use of the pedestrian bridge and dropping off passengers on the highway?
Fortunately, we have a situation where recalcitrant pedestrians, say even at that point that they don't have any reason to use these pedestrian bridges. I think that is the challenge that we have most of the time. Now, we also collaborate with other agencies that have the mandate to arrest.
You see, our people will never learn. They prefer to run across the 4 lanes than to use the pedestrian bridge. And what we've been doing is that we've been collaborating with the environmental, that is Abuja Environmental Protection Board, because they have the statutory power to make the arrest of human.
As efforts to get the Abuja Environmental Protection Board to speak proved abortive. Residents are, however, appealing for the urgent attention of road safety managers, even as our camera lens captured a truck driving against traffic.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Hawagimba. The Association of Retired Career Ambassadors of Nigeria, ARCAN, has sent words of felicitation to the Ichie Adazi of Obosi Kingdom, Chief Emeka Anyoko, as he attains the venerated age of 90. A statement signed by the president of the association, Ambassador John Shinkaye, described the former Secretary General of the Commonwealth as a patriot of a special genre. Archon wishes the new nonagenarian the best that life continues to offer. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is congratulating the former Commonwealth Secretary General Chief Emeka Anyoko on the occasion of his 90th birthday. Chief Anyoko, who served briefly as Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs under the Shehu Shagari administration, turns 90 on January 18, 2023. In a statement, Tinubu describes Chief Anyoko as a source of pride and joy to Nigeria, as an excellent career diplomat and elder statesman whose leadership and contributions to national development and global politics brought about economic order in the Commonwealth of Nations. Time for another breather. In the next segment of the news, a special on the January myth about cash crunch. Or are you feeling it? We'll be right back.
You reside in the Federal Capital Territory? Are you a business owner or an employer of labor in the FCT? Do you know that it is a violation of your civic responsibility not to file your annual returns? The FCT Internal Revenue Service uses this medium to inform all organizations, employers of labor, and agents to file their annual tax returns before the stipulated deadline, which is the 31st of January 2023, to avoid being on the wrong side of the law. Failure to file within the stipulated period shall attract penalty. Hurry now. Visit our website at www.fctirs.gov.ng to download and fill the Form G or Form H1 or walk into any of our offices nearest to you to obtain same and file your returns. Online self-service for filing the returns is available on our website. For more inquiries, please call our contact center on 0700-220-0002 or email contact us at fctirs.gov.ng. Together, we can build the FCT of our dreams.
It's a new dawn for Nigeria. Oh, better days are coming. Better days that gives us hope and strength. Determined to keep this hope alive. Bring the smiles back to all Nigerians.
It's a new dawn in Nigeria. Renewed hope beckons on our people. The silver lining dots the skies. The firmament portents a bright future as the people of Nigeria move to vote a man whom they have come to trust for the realization of their aspirations for a better Nigeria. That man is Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. He has been tested. He can be trusted. Vote Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as President of Nigeria 2023. Vote Kashim Shettima as Vice President. Vote APC. Surely with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the smiles are returning. We are close to home.
Bring the smiles back to all Nigerians.
I dey look for pension fund administrator. Wait up, make sense, wait care for me. No be the time when story go enter the matter when it's time to deliver. No. Make sure them no go stress you. Call them then they accessible. Customer care where they on point. No go regret when you try up cost. Reasonable investment. Everything just a blend. Make you just premium pension today. Make that switch to premium pension. Make that switch to premium pension.
Join over 700,000 satisfied members and enjoy the premium experience at our offices across the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. Call 094615-700-704 to make the switch today. Premium pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
The Mission for Education, Social and Health, MESH, a non-governmental organization of the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, is urging all Muslim Ummah to take advantage advantage of the 8-day extension of the collection of permanent voters card (PVC) by the Independent Electoral Commission (INEC) to collect their cards at their wards and local government councils nationwide. The mission is also calling on all Muslim Umar to ensure they fully participate in the elections, as it is their right to vote and be voted for. Know that your full participation will immensely contribute to the success of electing patriotic leaders that will pilot the affairs of our great nation, Nigeria. Get your PVC, vote wisely, and ensure a peaceful general elections. This message is from the Mission for Education, Social and Health, MESH.
Just a moment. The refrigerator. Hello? Sunday! Yes, Mama. Come. 1,000 naira. Buy me Airtel recharge card. You have what I said. Thank you. Yeah. Hey. Sunday, don't finish me. I say 1,000 naira recharge card. You carry 8,000 naira of my money, go load them. Because money in your hand, Abi.
Oganu. As I load the 1,000 naira, I use Airtel Ovajara, turn them to 8,000 naira, just like that.
8 times the value of any recharge, plus double data and 1,000 naira activation bonus when you buy a new SIM.
Sunday, go buy us. And make sure say they put Ovajara for you.
Airtel, the smartphone network. Time don't come for every man to fight for the soul of the country, Nigeria. Now, who go save our fatherland? Who go rescue Nigeria? Now, only one man, he stand gidigba and he ready for the battle. Now, we fit trust Kanpe. He get experience, he get sense, and we all know him. He know na Atiku Abubakar. We dey call him the unifier, and his job now to save the country and bring our people together. He get Nigeria for mind, and he ready to work make Nigeria safe and better again. Atiku dey come together with Ifeanyi Okowa. This team na helele. This no be time for sentiment or padi. No, this na time for competence. This man sabi him job wella. Atiku na the answer and solution for a brighter and safer tomorrow. Make we vote Atiku for president for 2023. Vote PDP. Power to the people. Na Senator Ehige Uzame dey bring una this message.
Thanks so much for staying. Time now to do business, and we have Musa Abakar on business news.
Thank you, Fatima. Let's begin with energy. Oil prices were little changed on Wednesday after giving up early gains as the market balanced worries about a possible U.S. recession versus optimism that the lifting of China's COVID-19 curbs will fuel demand in the world's top oil importer. CNBC reports that Brent futures fell 22 cents or 0.3% to $85.70 a barrel by 1:31 p.m. Eastern Time, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude fell 2 cents to $80.16. And now to stocks equities market in Nigeria closed Wednesday on a negative note, cancelling Tuesday's gains. The NGXL share index depreciated by 0.16% to close at 52,615.51 basis points. Market capitalization dropped to 28.65 trillion naira. 217.9 million shares exchanged hands by investors on the floor of the exchange, valued at 4.471 billion naira in 3,377 deals. The financial services industry topped the activity chart, with Sterling and Zenith Bank leading in terms of volume. That's a quick look at business. Fatima, is back to you now.
Thank you so much, Musa. Most commercial banks operating in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, are complying with the CBN directive on dispensation of new Naira notes at ATM points. However, points of sale POS cash points that provide significant relief for bank customers' withdrawals are still circulating the old notes. Milka Malam has an update.
Barely 2 weeks to the withdrawal of the old Naira notes, many banks in Maiduguri are complying with the CBN directive on dispensing of new Naira notes at ATM points. A visit to some ATM points in Maiduguri metropolis revealed that most of the banks now dispense the new notes. These developments, residents have described as an improvement over the situation last week. The 200 Naira denomination are still scarce.
Since the new note has come into play, I was able to come and I noticed that the ATM is dispensing new cash.
Came to the bank and I withdraw. It was a new Naira note. It was dispensing.
Business operators who also disclosed that the only available denomination is 1,000, as they are yet to set their eyes on 200 and 500 Naira, making smaller denomination exchange cumbersome.
The Naira is available now is 1,000 Naira notes is available now. But since the production of that 200 Naira, I've not set my eyes on 200 Naira notes.
Na fi ganin tsohon kuɗi amma dai akwai sabon 1,500. 200 ne babu da yawa.
POS operators who are still receiving the old notes from banks appealed for more allocation to commercial banks.
Yet to get the new mints of the Naira, but according to them, sooner or later we may get it.
Residents of Maiduguri are hoping all the denominations of the new notes will be in full circulation ahead of the January 31st deadline. Maiduguri, Milka Namalam, NTA News.
Now, if you're one of the doubting pharmacists of the so much talked about federal government's goal of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years, then you might make a U-turn after this next report, as Abdullahi Mustafa tells us the story of a Kano-based entrepreneur who took advantage of the opportunities provided by government to empower himself and hundreds of other Nigerians. This is courtesy of the full activation of free trade zones, one of the initiatives the federal government is using to drive its poverty alleviation goal. It's over to you, Abdullahi.
For nearly 2 decades, the Kano Free Trade Zone has only been providing warehousing services due to infrastructure deficit. However, the Buhari administration's recent move to improve infrastructure in the zone is gradually changing the narrative. With a good road network, investor suites, electricity and water supply, more than 30 tenants have so far commenced operation. This factory produces biscuits and cheese balls. Its owner, Umar Marshall, took advantage of the federal government's incentives and initiatives to create wealth and jobs.
And I'm proud to be a Nigerian, and when you look at it, 100% of my workforce are Nigerians. I don't have any expatriates.
Not only activating the Kano Free Trade Zone, Umar Marshall also took advantage of the federal government's national homegrown school feeding program to strengthen his business.
After the primary market, we equally produce over 15 million packets for the National Homegrown School Feeding Program. And it has been going very well. And we commend the federal government and the Ministry of Humanitarian for having trust in us to supply them with homegrown raw materials for the Homegrown School Feeding Program.
This is one of the production lines of this company, and it started operation in 2015. And the company started with only 7 staff, but now 7 years after, they have more than 500.
We process not more than 2 bags of flour daily. But now, when we come in the morning, we use 100 bags or even more.
A befitting office accommodation has been provided for the management and staff of the Free Trade Zone, which the Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Mariam Katagum, came to inaugurate. Also inaugurated was the Nigeria Special Economic Zones Institute.
Let me reiterate that the gains and traction recorded in 7 years of the Buhari-led administration in the development of the free zone exceeds what we had seen and witnessed in 23 years.
With this and tax-free operation environment created for the likes of Umar Marshall, who are now employers of labor, the goal of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty over a period of 10 years, the minister believes is achievable. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
January, the first month of the year, is often characterized by financial anxiety for many people over what they call January cash crunch. Is this claim a myth? Joel Popola in this next report examines why many see January as the longest month of the year.
The month of January is unique for so many reasons. Being the first month of the year, it represents a new beginning when people are coming out of the euphoria of Utah celebrations, embrace the reality of surviving another year. The first 4 weeks in the new year, many say, is often difficult because there is less to spend, while businesses tend to be slow.
Dirty December and everybody has spent their money. January is quite long and so we're all waiting for the end of the month to collect salary.
Curious as it sounds, this situation is a yearly reality for many who are caught in the web of January cash crunch due to what some respondents believed to be self-inflicted.
Some Nigerians think that if you don't live large, like we say, you are nobody. Well, you shouldn't spend what you don't have.
Most people during the December season, they go the extra mile, they spend for their family, they take care of their loved one, even people that are in need.
These experts say January can also be a profitable time since demand is usually low around this period.
To me, prices come down in January because of pressure of the purchasing power of people and the demand pressure. Prices go up in December.
It is the first month of the year. It will normally start very slowly. So not enough activity for the first 1 week, sometimes even for 2 weeks. So because of that, the economic activity is a little bit on the low side.
However, there are some difficulties that many may encounter during this period. Financial experts encourage Nigerians to imbibe the culture of proper financial planning.
Non-discretionary expenses that I will have to face in January. Make provision for them and don't spend January money in December.
January is a seemingly unending month for many. To break this trend and reverse this unwanted narrative, Nigerians agreed that the culture of frivolous spending should be curtailed. In Lagos, Joel Popola, NTA News.
Still to come, an in-depth look at tertiary healthcare in Nigeria, plus new initiatives to combat child labor.
Never again should this happen. We have passed through this path before, and it was not good for us. I remember the horror, the crying, the blood. Dead bodies everywhere. I almost lost my mind. I could not sleep. I remember the cry of innocent children. Many lives were changed forever. We shall never go through that path again. Let us all stand in solidarity with our armed forces, our men and women. Oh, we must stand in truth, in honesty, to build a vibrant nation, a nation that you and I can be proud of.
If you want to become something, become a child again. Why be patient? If you must worry, don't worry about winning. Why worry about germs? When you come home, bring tales and stories. Why bring in germs?
Shield your families from germs. When Dettol is a part of every household bucket, then you and your family can stay protected from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
Oh, Grace, you've got places to be, and Miss Trump has forgotten something, but he must trust you, leaving you with his basket. Time to take matters into your own hands. Grab that papaya. Now, make a mess of it.
Ding bang ding, ding ding bang, bang bang bang, ding bang ding, bang bang.
Looking fresh for your date? Get even fresher with Close Up. New Close Up Triple Fresh Formula. It cleans deeply, fights 99% of bacteria, and cools intensely. keeping you protected and fresh.
Let's take a picture.
Fresh. Feel fresh. Feel protected.
Feeling good and protected.
All day confidence to get close. New Close Up Triple Fresh Formula.
Good morning.
Good morning. Why is your sun shining like this?
Can't you see that Harmattan season is here? We need to protect our children from this dry weather.
What about the invisible germs?
Invisible germs?
During Harmattan, it's not enough to only protect your skin. You also need protection from these invisible germs. To protect our families, we use Dettol.
Harmattan season brings a lot of germs, but Dettol with Germ Defense gives protection from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
My people, my name is Emeka. Mekus Kamat. Let me get all this again. I don't learn my lesson. Somebody come buy motor for my hand, carry big money, come give me. Now when the day bust, then my eye open. I don't know that 419 be. Now when EFCC bam, now they come grab me too. Now he make me they warn you. All of them when they do business like me, where they carry big money, when I go sometimes I go carry transfer, carry bring back. They could have shine in my eye because the special control unit against money laundering, when they call school, they don't want to say if the money pass 5 million naira for individual, no collect them. If it pass 10 million naira for company, no collect them. Can I go here? Bank. If you don't do them like that, 250,000 naira for every day where this offense happen. Or they go suspend your license, or they go shut them down, pata for your hand. You talk say I know one year.
This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
Thanks so much for staying. The Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy this year got a budget allocation of more than 47 billion naira. This is lower than last year's allocation of more than 159 billion. Chimbima NDBC gives us details.
The communications and digital economy sector has become one of the high contributors to the nation's GDP. The role it played in connecting people during COVID-19 lockdown and Nigeria's recovery from recession cannot be forgotten in a hurry. A budget of 47 billion naira has been appropriated to fast-track implementation of policies and completion of ongoing and new projects to consolidate on the gains so far recorded. More than 32 billion is to be expended on personnel costs and overhead. 14.8 billion is for capital projects. Here is a breakdown of allocations to some agencies under the ministry. The National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, a little above 24 billion to increase citizens' digital enrollment, currently at 92 million. The Nigerian Postal Service, NIPOST, more than 13 billion. Nigeria Communication Satellite, NIGCOMSAT, more than 4 billion naira to take care of satellite, broadband and rural connectivity, NIGCOMSAT 2 project and other activities. Inclusion of the establishment of ICT Park, empowerment programs for females, training on high-demand digital skills, construction of ICT centers in states, creation of digital jobs, and digitization of government processes in this year's budget got nods from ICT experts.
We have an inclusive budget. It took care of the girls, women, various development.
The majority of the budget went to NIMC,
And NIMC, and that's because NIMC already is running on a multilateral and bilateral loan. Another aspect that probably next year budget should look at, the allocation for infrastructures can be expanded.
Nigeria is pursuing to be the leading digital technology hub in Africa. In Abuja, Chimdimma, DBC, NTA News.
Let's talk health now. A glance at the tertiary component of the nation's healthcare shows that as part of efforts to stemming the tides of medical tourism as well as delivery of comprehensive medical services to citizens, the federal government has over the years continued to pay more attention to tertiary health institutions across the country. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim takes us through some of the interventions aimed at improving tertiary healthcare in the year 2022.
Three health institutions are teaching hospitals and federal medical centers that are meant to handle complex health conditions, among other medical research and trainings. There are over 50 tertiary health institutions in Nigeria, and government is not unmindful of the challenges some of them are faced with. In the year 2022, the federal government embarked on infrastructural development of tertiary health facilities across the country in a bid to position the hospitals for quality health care delivery to the people. $22.5 million from the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority was invested in diagnostic centers in Kano, Umar and Lut Cancer Center in Lagos. This is said to have reduced capital flight from medical tourism.
Baseline is the lack of confidence or loss of confidence in the health system, which we are trying to reverse. We are doing everything we can to improve services at tertiary health centers, the teaching hospitals and the federal medical centers, to improve conditions of service for the doctors, to retain very good doctors, and above all, to improve the culture. The Health Reform Committee that the President set up will come up with new ideas on how to manage our hospitals.
Some of these interventions are also evident at the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, which also serves as a referral center for the North Central region of the country, with more specialized centers, including the brand new Aisha Muhammad Buhari Trauma Center.
The government has done very well with respect to tertiary health institution and using our own institution as a focus. One of the most prominent one is that our new accident and emergency unit. We've been able to construct a new dialysis unit. Then we have been able to construct a research molecular laboratory.
With one of the most accessible and affordable radiotherapy services in the country, the National Hospital Abuja has adopted the new National Emergency Response Project, now responding more promptly to emergencies.
We want to go with this government policy, we want to support it, and we want it to succeed, so that anybody who is sick within some kilometers away from that center will just make a phone call, and then somebody will come and pick the person and bring him to the hospitals.
Findings shows that many tertiary institutions also got one form of facelift or the other in the year under review. With the support of the federal government and development partners, now with significant increase in the 2023 budget allocation for the health sector, stakeholders believe better days lie ahead. Salwa Khalil, NTA News.
Last break beckons. Please stay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Why is your sun shining like this?
Can't you see that Hamatan season is here? We need to protect our children from this dry weather.
What about the invisible germs?
Invisible germs?
During Harmattan, it's not enough to only protect your skin. You also need protection from these invisible germs. To protect our families, we use Dettol.
Harmattan season brings a lot of germs, but Dettol with Germ Defense gives protection from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
Looking fresh for your dates? Get even fresher with Close Up. New Close Up Triple Fresh Formula. It cleans deeply, fights 99% of bacteria. It cools intensely, keeping you protected and fresh.
Let's take a picture.
Still fresh, still protected. All day confidence to get close. New Close Up Triple Fresh Formula.
Like a bird needs wings to fly, you need skills to be productive. No matter the level of your education, ITF can train you to acquire skills in areas like mechatronics, metal machining, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, information and communication technology, ICT, culinary art, and agriculture. Acquire a skill and transform yourself from being unemployed to becoming even an employer. Be a valuable Nigerian youth. Say no to unemployment and poverty.
I'll get my wings and fly so high. I'll reach for the stars, yeah, it's time.
Industrial Training Fund, developing the nation's human resource.
Good morning.
Good morning. Why is your sun shining like this?
Can't you see that Harmattan season is here? We need to protect our children from this dry weather.
What about the invisible germs?
Invisible germs?
During Harmattan, it's not enough to only protect your skin. You also need protection from these invisible germs. To protect our families, we use Dettol.
Harmattan season brings a lot of germs, but Dettol with germ defense gives protection from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
A body has been found, possibly a child. I think I have something.
I think it's a ritual murder. Oh, that's the council's name. What do we know about this so-called senior court meeting?
It appears their real strength lies in the members now in government, judiciary, business, and the police.
Now, this is getting interesting.
Welcome back. Pray for the successful conduct of the 2023 general elections. Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, Reverend Yakubu Pam, urges the fourth batch of the 2022 Christian pilgrims airlifted to Israel and the Kingdom of Jordan. Omenka Marachku reports.
Christian pilgrims for the fourth batch of the 2022 pilgrimage are selected from Akwa Ibom and Delta states. The spiritual exercise to Holy Land is characterized by prayer for peace and harmonious coexistence of Nigerians.
The most important thing for the pilgrims to go for this exercise at this moment is to pray. And the prayer should center more beyond the success of the election. The unity of purpose, the unity of mind, that we have no any other country that will take us like Nigeria. Let religion, let ethnicity, sectionalism, and whatever should not divide us. Let's stand strongly for the purpose of the existence of Nigeria as a country.
The pilgrims, numbering more than 300, are expected to visit holy sites in Israel and the Kingdom of Jordan within the weeks of stay. In Abuja, Omenka Marachku, NTA News.
And with that, we conclude News Extra for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I am Fatima Buba.